The show's not called Gordon. It's not called Penguin or Fish Mooney. It's called Gotham. The city is a character.
You're telling the origin of that city.
It's life in wartime, if you like. There's a constant urban warfare going on in Gotham, and there is no outside power that can come in and save this city.
How did the city get to a point where it actually needed someone who was going to don a mask and a cape and run around and save it?
We get to see the hero's journey from the very first moment.
We get to explore the lead character failing.
Anarchy is coming.
It's always Gotham. It's always Chinatown. It's always corrupt and essentially sick.
It's survival of the fittest. You know, the beautiful thing about the DC universe is that it's a universal universe. You go to anywhere in the world, people will know who Batman is, who the Riddler is, who Joker is, who Penguin is. Those characters have been part of everyone's life since they were kids.
Batman's villains probably have more stories told about them than any other villains in fiction, I would think. They've existed for decades and decades and decades and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories.
They all build up into a kind of psychic landscape where you're dealing with a world that has a kind of personal fascination for people.
Ed, Detective Gordon.
The sense that you're jumping into a story that has been going on for hundreds of years and will move on into the future was a big part of how we designed the show. You're asking the audience to take a leap forward into the world where Batman exists, and if you're moving forward in that way, you also have to move backwards into the past and see Batman as part of that long history as opposed to someone who just popped out of nowhere. We're all pawns in a much longer and larger game.
What about you, Bruce?
Sorry, Mom, I agree with that.
Gotham is at a low point, and the Waynes are these two people, these two wonderful people that are a bright spot in Gotham. They're almost like, for me, they're like the beacon of hope.
You too, so judgmental.
What's up, folks? Stay calm, Bruce.
The first case that we deal with was the death of the Waynes, because it's at such an impressionable age of that kid's life. It's probably the same age as we started reading the comics. You know, he represented us. And the fact that Gary Cooper or Elliot Ness, or all these influences that are Jim Gordon, comes out and says,
I will find the man who did this.
It gives us hope. And that's a real man that does that pledges to help you and puts himself at great danger in order to help you. I think that's why it was essential that was the timing. To watch these two men grow up together, or watch them fall together, I thought was a very good way to start our story.
Eyes front. Don't let them see you cry.
Finding that crucial moment, finding that, assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, where all of a sudden that one bullet lit the flame that was going to send everything to war. So you could actually watch the city descend, so he could then pull it up afterwards, in theory.
This is Gotham. You don't bend, you'll get broke.
Gotham is very much a timeless place. It kind of exists in a dream world, and in dreams, there is no specific place and time. It was important from the start to create a world that everyone could relate to as a sort of universal past. So, okay, cell phones, that's a very modern thing. So that's placing it apparently in this world now, but at the same time, the cars are 1970s, the buildings are 1940s. So you get a kind of mashup of periods that allows that world to be everybody's memory of the past, everybody's dream world. And also because we're not referring to anything beyond Gotham. You don't know who the president is. Gordon fought in a war, but we don't know what war he fought in. The audience has to make up their own sense of when and where this is.
We have sort of our pool of movies that we reference that we're inspired by. There's a lot of talk of Untouchables and The Godfather and Miller's Crossing and movies like that were modern day movies that sort of had a callback to like other eras. We use a lot of the comic books as reference points. They reference many different eras as well.
It's a dark, rough place, and you have to make tough decisions to get ahead, especially if you're coming at it from where Oswald's coming at it. Like, he learned everything about the underbelly of Gotham City from Fish Mooney, and he learned that you have to be ruthless.
Those great DC villains, they come to Gotham because Gotham is a place, rather like America is in the sort of global consciousness, where anyone can become king. Everyone can just express their own nature and their own character freely. In the real world, everyone is part of a larger society that puts demands on them, and you have to behave in a certain way and you can't break the law. Gotham is a place where none of those rules apply. That's very seductive, and it's a very attractive place for anyone who's felt that there's something weird and dark in their psyche that makes them different from everybody else.
We're going to see the birth of insanity. We're going to see the birth of the most famous villains in fiction.
I will rip you open.
Because of the death of the Waynes, you're going to see this environment. It's almost like a giant petri dish that's growing, you know, insanity.
We conceive of two different versions of the crime world of Gotham. There's the crime world of Gotham that we see for a lot of this season, which has a lot of its foundations in that old world of mafia bosses like the Falcones and the Maronis, what have you, that feels like the Untouchables.
Forgive me for shocking you.
And then there's the Penguin, the Riddler, the Joker, etc., which is much more supervillainy. And so there is a transition that's going to happen between that one world and that other world.
He's clever enough to know that a freakish little man like him is never going to be the boss.
Gotham had been turned over to these organized criminals.
You can't have organized crime without law and order.
And what happened with the Wayne murders, that was the Rubicon, where like they crossed over from a city which was kind of broken to like a broken city. That was going to signal the end of the old order.
All villains think of themselves as heroes. Everyone is the hero of their own life, and if you can see where they've come from and understand how they got to be who they are, then you have empathy for them.
Our job, I guess, is twofold. One is to build in the mythic architecture so we understand like the scope of the characters we're telling, but also make those mythic characters seem like real people. As if you had Achilles walking through Gotham. You'd want to make sure everyone still knows that he's Achilles, but also still, like, he has trouble picking out his suits in the morning or whatever it is. You have to, like, tic-tac back and forth between, like, the reality and the idea of this person turns out to be a larger-than-life character.
Throughout the show, what I think is going to be really cool is seeing how a regular kid, a regular personality, becomes the personality of Batman.
The germination of the character, of the boy that becomes the man that dons the cowl, is starting now.
Now that the Balloon Man is gone, who will defend the people of Gotham?
We see him respond to his parents' death in a couple different ways. He's obviously shattered, but then he's up on a rooftop. It's kind of the first time you see him at Wayne Manor. And throughout the first season, you see him get in fights, you see him learn how to fight. On the other end of it, he's incredibly intelligent, and he's working his parents' case. And we see him by the end of the first season start to suspect Wayne Enterprises in all this stuff.
You're the weirdest kid I've ever met.
So consequently then, because of his intellect and his focus, he can then concentrate on the maelstrom that has become Gotham. That's what makes him the Batman.
Detective James Gordon, ma'am.
Well, aren't you a cool glass of milk?
Jim Gordon is really a hero in the old-fashioned sense of the word, a man of virtue and moral probity. His father was a distinguished lawyer, a DA. He sees Gotham as a kind of legacy of his father. In trying to solve the mystery of who killed the Waynes, he's really trying to redeem and save Gotham, which is a sort of quixotic notion. So there's a sort of pathos in Gordon that this is a hero who failed. But ironically, in his failure, he's nurturing the man who will save Gotham. There's a constant tension between what Gordon thinks is the right way to go and what Bruce is learning about the city and learning that whatever Gordon does, it's not enough. It's also triangulated, if you like, by Alfred.
Something wrong? I don't know. Never had a child before.
And Alfred's the one who's going to sort of teach him those staunch codes and those staunch rules, and when to keep a secret, and when to ask for help, and how to present yourself in public.
Alfred represents that very self-reliant, trust no one else, make yourself strong. The world is this kind of Hobbesian creation where everyone's only pursuing their own good, And then on the other hand, Gordon, who is much more devoted to, not altruistic, but like saying, we have to watch out for the social good. We have to help other people. We have to reform these institutions. And Bruce will constantly find himself be pulled back and forth between those two.
He can't pursue this case on his own. It's too dangerous. Then I'll have to look after him. Can I show you the door?
Bruce has spent season 1 sort of figuring out where he is in a world without Thomas and Martha Wayne, and slowly beginning to come into his own. He's not the Bruce Wayne that we see in the comic books. The Bruce Wayne in the comic books, is sort of this like affable playboy in public, and then this sort of deep brooding man who feels a great responsibility to save the city in private. And season 1 is sort of the first seeds of Bruce figuring out who he is in this world of Gotham. And I think you'll continue, in seasons to come to see him make his way towards becoming the Bruce Wayne the public knows, and the Batman the public knows, and the private Bruce.
Bruce's journey through this first season, it's really a journey from childhood to adolescence. When you're small, your parents are sort of godlike. They're perfect people. Adolescence is a kind of period of disillusionment. It's a milestone in everyone's childhood, and most people can remember moments when they suddenly realize, oh my gosh, my dad is not John Wayne. He's a flawed human being with his own problems and his own unrequited desires. And the journey to Batman could only have taken place if Bruce was discovering things in his life and in his past and in his family's past that allowed him to go there.
I'm so angry all the time. Will it ever go away?
That I don't know.
We always, in the writer's room, talk about whether or not things are Gotham or not. It has to do with taking something that you would have in the real world and what sort of the off-kilter, weird, dark, strange way to portray it.
It's a dark, cold, lonely place where anything can happen. So it's both a place for adventure and a scary place, and it's a place that you are compelled to want to visit, but you're also terrified at the same time. Anyone who's come to a big city from the country, say, or a small town, understands that sense of infinite possibility and limitless adventure, but also fear.